All right, let's dive in. Today, we're talking about a transformation that is, frankly, massive. It's India's huge push to become a world leader in renewable energy. And look, this isn't just about swapping out old power plants for new ones. Nope. This is a complete rethink of its economy, and it gives us all a pretty amazing peek into the future of energy. So let's get into it.
And when I say this is a huge push, I really mean it. Just look at this number. That's how much India put aside for its Ministry of New and Renewable Energy in its latest budget. We're talking over 329 billion rupees. That's a serious investment, the kind of money that shows India isn't just playing along with the green transition, it's planning to lead it. So the big question is, where's all that cash actually going?
Well, here's how we're going to break it all down for you. First, we'll look at the big strategic bet India's making. Then, we're going to explore the incredible tech that's powering this whole thing. After that, we'll get into the payoffs, why this is not just cleaner, but also way cheaper and, you won't believe this, actually cooler. And finally, we'll talk about the people, the brand new green workforce that's being created as we speak.
So let's kick things off with the big picture, India's green energy bet. And you have to understand, this isn't just some environmental policy. It's a really strategic move to build a future where India controls its own energy.
You know, the whole philosophy behind this comes down to one word, Atmanirbhar. It basically means self-reliance. Think of it this way. It's like a family deciding to grow their own vegetables instead of just buying them from the store. The goal here is to build a whole domestic ecosystem, from making the parts to installing the tech. It's about making sure India is in the driver's seat of its own energy future. It's as much about economic freedom as it is about clean power.
Okay, so that's the why. Now let's get to the really cool part, the how. Our second section is all about the Futures Technology Toolkit. This is where we check out the actual innovations making that self-reliant dream a reality.
And let me tell you, India is not putting all its eggs in one basket. This is a strategy with a lot of different angles. We're talking cutting-edge solar panels and the factories to make them, huge battery systems to keep the power on all night, the fuel of the future, which is green hydrogen, and even things like carbon capture, and making sure they have the minerals needed to build everything.
Now, what's really fascinating about solar is how it's evolving. India is shifting from just putting panels together to actually owning the energy tech IP stack, basically owning the ideas and the patents. This means they're developing and making their own advanced tech, like bifacial panels that can soak up sunlight from both sides, or next-gen thin-film cells that are super light and flexible.
But, right, what happens when the sun isn't shining? That's the million-dollar question. And the answer is Battery Energy Storage Systems, or BESS. This is the absolute game changer. These massive battery farms store all the extra solar power made during the day, and then they release it at night or on a cloudy day. It completely solves the problem of solar being an on and off power source. It makes it reliable, 24/7.
And then you've got green hydrogen. This is genuinely clean fuel. You make it by using solar power to split water into hydrogen and oxygen. India's mission here is incredibly ambitious. They're aiming to produce 5 million metric tons a year by 2030. And that's not just for themselves. They want to be a major global exporter of the stuff.
So how do they do it? Well, one really cool method is called the soul sink process. Just imagine using a giant magnifying glass to focus the sun's heat onto a special powder until it's scorching hot. This separates out pure zinc. Then you just react that zinc with water and boom, you get pure hydrogen gas. And the best part, the original powder is created again at the end, so you can just use it over and over. It's so clean, so elegant. It's a perfect circle. Okay, all this amazing technology leads to the payoffs. This brings us to Section 3, cheaper, cleaner, and cooler. This is where we see the real-world benefits of this huge investment. First of all, it's cheaper. I mean, the cost of solar energy has just plummeted. Since 2010, the price has dropped by a jaw-dropping 91%. Solar is now the cheapest form of new electricity on the planet, and in India, it's under 4 cents a kilowatt hour. That's not just a statistic, that's a revolution.
And this chart really nails the cleaner part. I mean, just look at this. For every bit of electricity you generate, solar creates only 43 grams of CO2. Now, compare that to natural gas at almost 500, or coal at over 1,000. The difference isn't just small, it's absolutely monumental.
But here's a wild benefit you might not have thought of. We've talked about cheaper and cleaner. But what about cooler? Like, can solar panels literally make things cooler?
And the answer is, yeah, they can. It's this wild idea called negative net heat emissions. Think about it. A normal dark roof soaks up sunlight and turns it into heat, right? Well, a solar panel catches that same sunlight, but instead of turning it all into heat, it turns a bunch of it into electricity. So less energy becomes heat, which creates this shield effect that can actually cool down the building underneath. It's a pretty amazing side effect.
And the benefits just keep coming, even after a panel is done working. A modern solar panel lasts for 30 to 35 years, but at the end of its life, up to 95% of its parts, the glass, the aluminum, the silicon, can be recovered and recycled. This creates a true circular economy and makes building new panels even cleaner.
So, the technology is next level, and the benefits are undeniable. But who's going to build all this stuff? That leads us to our final section, the new green workforce and the incredible career opportunities being created for a cleaner world. Let's just start with this one number. As of last year, India's renewable energy sector already employed over 1 million people. That is a massive workforce that has basically appeared out of nowhere in about a decade.
And here's where those million jobs are. Hydropower is still the biggest piece of the pie for now, but look at that massive chunk for solar PV, almost 320,000 people. And trust me, these numbers are about to go through the roof. How much bigger are we talking? Well, just one government program for rooftop solar called PM Surya Ghar is expected to create 1.7 million direct jobs all by itself. We're talking manufacturing, shipping, installation, maintenance, the whole shebang. And that's not all. There's another plan to put solar panels on farms called PM Kusum. That's expected to create another 7.55 lakh job years. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, a lakh is 100,000. So that's over 755,000 job years for people in rural areas. The scale of this job boom is just hard to wrap your head around.
So you're probably thinking, what does it actually take to get one of these jobs? Well, for the professional roles, companies are looking for a few key things. You need to be good with design software like PVSys. Of course, solid electrical and mechanical skills are a must. And for the huge projects, they need people with certified project management skills, plus expertise in logistics and operations.
So, from a huge national strategy to mind-blowing technology and literally millions of new careers, India's green revolution is one of the most exciting stories happening on the planet right now. It really is a story about power, about progress, and about people. And that just leaves us with one final thing to think about. As India builds this amazing green future, what role will you play in it?